vacate at the earliest so that the new incumbents can, after all, they have to settle, they have to function, they also have their own plans of doing some puja or whatever it is. So for that, keep that in mind. The honorable outgoing minister should vacate it and set a good example to the people so that there is no problem for me. Otherwise, these people are, new ministers are waiting and old ministers are not vacated. Then there will be a problem.
Sir, could you please elaborate a bit more on what the Prime Minister said about work allocation to MOSs? Because that was also an issue during UPA government. So what exactly he said about...
I do not want to elaborate anything. He said, take MOS along with you, give them proper work. It is understood. And I have been a minister, earlier cabinet minister. There used to be MOS under me, and we have taken care of them also.
From Vajpayee government's time till 2014, this has been a continuing cause of concern for the MOSs, that they are not being given any work. Vajpayee also had a very long meeting with MOSs sometime in around 2000. Then Manmohan Singh tried to have meetings twice. But Prime Minister's directives to cabinet ministers has not actually resulted in addressing the grievances and concerns of the MOSs.
You know, the spirit of the advice is properly understood by all the cabinet ministers, and they will take care of their MOS. There won't be any problem. But MOS is MOS. Try to understand. Independent. No, I'm not trying to make a lighter remark. There is a cabinet minister. He is accountable, and there is a minister of state independent charge. So there is no problem. There are ministers of state who have been posted under cabinet ministers. They have to segregate the work and give certain amount of work to the MOS. He cannot entrust the total decision making to MOS. So there is an area wherein you have to work out some this thing so that the MOS also feel satisfied that he has been involved in the decision making process. Proper consultation, regular taking into confidence, all these things should go on. It's a arrangement. There is no such what you call a rule or regulation, codification of these things.
So I have two questions.
First, because the first meeting, PM has just advised.
Please, Venkat, please allow me to conduct this in a civilized manner. Please, somebody is waiting before you. Please.
So you said that an address to the nation from the Prime Minister is expected. Was there any discussion on the contours and how will that...
No, Minister never said anything like this.
No. Someone has asked me.
Yeah, so my question is, sir, is there a discussion on the presidential address to the joint session of the Parliament? And since that address usually outlines the agenda for the government, how is that going to be different from if the Prime Minister addresses the nation?
Certain suggestions were given even the other day for yesterday's meeting also. Some suggestions were given. They will be kept in mind, and then there may be one more occasion also for finalizing this presidential address, because the presidential address contains the what you call the cabinet's priorities and agenda, etc.
So the Prime Minister seeking...
No, Himanshu, please. Other people are waiting. Yes, please, that side.
Okay.
वेंकैया जी इधर सर पार्लियामेंट और कैबिनेट से ही जुड़ा हुआ है नीलम जी, इसलिए पहला कि
प्लीज रिस्ट्रिक्ट योरसेल्फ टू व्हाट द ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर हैज ब्रीफ्ड.
कैबिनेट और पार्लियामेंट सेशन से ही जुड़ा हुआ है. वेंकैया जी, आप पार्टी के भी वरिष्ठ नेता हैं, कैबिनेट के भी वरिष्ठ नेता हैं. 6 तारीख को स्पीकर का जो चुनाव है, क्या सुमित्रा महाजन फ्रंट रनर है? दूसरा क्या कैबिनेट में प्रधानमंत्री जी ने अपने जो प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी को जो अध्यादेश द्वारा लाया है उसकी जानकारी दी कि क्यों लाना पड़ा?
प्रधानमंत्री जी का कोई इसके बारे में स्पष्टीकरण करने की जरूरत नहीं है. ऑन द इश्यू ऑफ कॉम्पिटेंस, प्रूवन इंटेग्रिटी and utility for greater responsibility, it was decided, and it is no issue at all. My friends in the opposition do not have any other issue. So they are trying to rake up this issue where there is no controversy at all. Government has got the right, and there was a lacuna in the Act, so that has been rectified. There is no problem. With regard to your other question, I have not mentioned any name. You have given some suggestion. We'll keep that suggestion also in mind, but that's not my prerogative to decide about the speaker. I cannot speak about the speaker now in this meeting.
Yes, Venkat, you have a question.
Please.
Venkaiah ji, since the Congress party could not get the respective number to become the principal opposition, does the government have any proposal to give opportunities the the Speaker of the Lok Sabha to the regional parties like the ADMK or Trinamool Congress and the Navin Patnaik party, the Biju Janata Dal, if they form a group kind of a thing, will you consider this group can be getting the deputy speaker post from the Lok Sabha?
So far, there has been a practice of coalition of the government. There is no precedent as far as the centre is concerned about coalition of an opposition. If some coalition is forthcoming and they are willing to work together, okay, they have got every right. With regard to who should be the made deputy speaker, whether there should be leader of the opposition, recognize what does the LOP Act of 1977 says, what are the directives of the Speaker, Rule 121 says, what has been the precedent so far under various governments. All these things are being examined and we'll take a final call at an appropriate time. I don't want to talk about any parties.
Yeah. Just one related question to the TRAI ordinance, sir. Because that has to be converted in the Act as well. So will that be part of the first Parliament session?
We'll see, before the stipulated time it will be done.
Yes, please.
Ordinances has to be placed on the floor, on the table of the House once the House meets. That will be done. When should we take it up? That will be decided.
Sir, K.M. Sharma from News. Sir, एक सवाल है, जैसे
बात की स्टेट और जो वहाँ से चिट्ठियाँ आती हैं, तो कोई ऐसी योजना है कि मुख्यमंत्रियों के साथ प्राइम मिनिस्टर की बैठक हो ताकि बेटर कोऑर्डिनेशन से काम हो सके पूरे देश में?
ये सब सुझाव है, मैं क्या इसके बारे में व्याख्या करूं? Keeping the true federal spirit is that because he also worked as chief minister in a state continuously for this many number of years, and I also have experience. Then states go on making representation, and they are all lying here in Delhi. They will be making rounds number of times and all. That is not the true spirit of the constitution and the federal system. So the prime minister, to raise certain standards in the, in the maintaining this federal spirit of the constitution and also our democratic system, he has given an advice today to the ministers because they are the decision makers again. I may recall that during my period as rural development ministers, I used to go to the states and then convene the meeting of the state chief minister and concerned ministers and try to understand the issues and then sort out the issues. So that is in keeping in the best traditions and all. But whatever it is, Prime Minister has given some guidance and everybody will understand that.
Okay, we'll take the last question. Yes. No, please, Arunima, we have to go.
Sir, I'm Ashutosh from DNA newspaper. Did the PM mention about any particular sector like infrastructure or say finance, GST or DTC when he talked about the first 100-day priority for the government?
He did not specify any. Every sector is important. Every sector is important and every section is important. And the expectations are high. That also, we ministers, everything is priority, sir. One thing is priority to you. For Kisan, remunerative price is priority for him. For the poor and other people, the price rise is a major issue for them. And then for the women in the country, security is an important concern for them. And for the states, redressal of their grievances with regard to stepmother treatment, that is also important. For the youth, unemployment is a major challenge. And for the country as a whole, security is an important aspect. So all these things are there. I don't want to prioritize them here. Every minister has to take all these issues into consideration and then draw his own.
So your colleague, TDP has demanded that NT Ramarao.
No political questions, please. No political.
He's giving a public statement to NT Ramarao. Do you think that he should give? Should give
Polavaram project or the ordinance related to the submerged areas of Polavaram, have you sent it to the president, and what do you have to say about KCR calling for a band on this proposed ordinance?
My point is, whatever the cabinet has decided, including the Polavaram project, the cabinet has approved the recommendation of the Home Ministry, which was made. Please try to understand, people are trying to make it a controversial issue. There is no controversy at all on this issue. I don't want to name any political parties because I am dealing with that subject even when I was in opposition. That issue was decided earlier. The Honorable Prime Minister Sri Manmohan Singh on the floor of the House, he said whatever hurdles are there, in declaring this as a national project and then taking it forward will all be removed in an appropriate manner, because he cannot say about ordinance because the session was in progress.